I'm playing the king's pawn opening to control the center and allow for rapid development of my pieces.
Claude wastes no time, shoving that pawn to e4 and staking a claim on the board's vital centre. This king's pawn opener means Claude's aiming for speedy piece mobilization, forcing ChatGPT to counter or risk
I'm
getting
playing the
outpaced
king's
early.
pawn opening to control
Speedy piece mobilization. E5 pawn from that initial thrust. This clever development bolsters White's attack while prepping for kingside castling, essentially parking the king behind a wall of pawns for protection. Momentum's tilting Claude's way early, as this move chains directly to their opening grab for the center. E5 pawn from that initial
This develops the bishop with tempo by attacking the knight on c6, following the classical Ruy Lopez opening, which puts immediate pressure on black's position.
Claude's bishop boldly bounds to b5, zeroing in on ChatGPT's nc6 knight from move 2 and cranking up the Ruy Lopez pressure by forcing an instant defense. This sneaky development with tempo, meaning Claude's piece is both active and threatening, could expose black's position like a trapdoor opening. Momentum's swinging Claude's way again, sharpening the edge in this cerebral duel.
Developing the knight to f6 helps control the center and prepares for kingside castling.
ChatGPT nudges its knight to f6, weaving another layer of central dominance like a spider spinning fresh silk. This savvy setup, building on their nc6 from move 2, readies kingside castling by tucking the king into a safer nook, crucial for dodging early storms, while subtly countering Claude's mounting pressure. Now, momentum's subtly stabilizing for ChatGPT, turning this into a gritty standoff.
Castling kingside gets my king to safety while connecting my rooks, which is a natural and strong developing move in this Spanish opening position.
Claude cleverly castles kingside, whisking its king to a snug G1 haven while seamlessly connecting rooks for coordinated strikes. That's AI ingenuity turning defense into a potential powerhouse. With this move echoing the kingside prep from move 4, Claude's momentum surges anew, forcing ChatGPT to brace for sharper threats.
Capturing the pawn on e4 takes advantage of the pinned knight on f3, putting pressure on white's position.
ChatGPT snatches Claude's e4 pawn with its knight, a cheeky raid that exploits the pin on that f3 knight from move 2, effectively holding it hostage to protect the king. Think of it as blackmailing a key defender. This opportunistic lunge not only bags a central prize, but flips momentum squarely back to black, rewarding ChatGPT's patient build-up. Will Claude's cerebral strategy crumble under this fresh assault?
This move pins the knight on e4 to the king, forcing black to deal with the threat to the knight while maintaining pressure on the center.
Claude unleashes Re1, sliding its rook into position to clamp down on ChatGPT's adventurous knight at e4, cleverly trapping it against the black king like a velvet noose. This pin, where the knight dares not flee without exposing its royal master to peril, revives white's central squeeze from that early e4 thrust on move 1. Momentum's swinging back to Claude's methodical grip, folks. Will this pressure cook ChatGPT's counterplay?
Playing d5 allows black to counterattack in the center and develop the pieces actively.
ChatGPT smartly rams d5 into the heart of the board, countering Claude's Re1 pin from move 5 by challenging that central stronghold and kickstarting piece development like a caffeine shot for its bishops. This pawn thrust, basically black's way of saying "not so fast" to white's dominance, could unravel Claude's setup if not handled with care. Think of it as igniting a powder keg in the middle. Momentum's decisively tilting ChatGPT's way now, folks, turning defense into a daring offensive flourish.
This move captures the central pawn while attacking the knight on c6, forcing black to make difficult decisions about piece coordination.
Claude's knight lunges to snag ChatGPT's e5 pawn, a cheeky recapture that echoes black's aggressive grab on move 1 and now threatens the nc6 knight, potentially unraveling their piece harmony like a pulled thread. This central heist, essentially swiping a key square while forcing tough choices, spotlights Claude's opportunistic flair. Meanwhile, momentum's rebounding white's way after ChatGPT's recent push.
I develop my bishop to attack the enemy knight and prepare to castle queenside.
ChatGPT nudges its bishop to d7, slyly targeting Claude's knight on e5 from that bold 6th move invasion while priming for queenside castling to whisk its king to a safer flank. This strategic shuffle not only bolsters black's defences, but hints at a counterattack that could unhinge white's central grip, essentially turning a mere piece move into a sneaky fortress build. With momentum teetering after Claude's pawn-snatching flair, will this calculated riposte from ChatGPT spark a fresh defensive surge?
This move captures the knight while forking the black king and queen, winning material.
Claude's e5 knight just devoured ChatGPT's c6 guard, forking the king and queen in a sneaky double attack that bags extra pieces. Imagine one pawn's cousin suddenly holding two royals at gunpoint. This opportunistic strike, echoing the aggressive nxe5 from move 6, finally exploits that central foothold to swing momentum decisively back to white. Will ChatGPT wriggle free from this cheeky trap or see their queenside crumble?
Recapturing the knight maintains material equality and strengthens the pawn structure.
ChatGPT cleverly recaptures with bxe6, snagging back the knight Claude poached on move 7 and weaving a tighter pawn fortress to fend off further raids. This material equalizer, basically a savvy reset that keeps both sides stocked without tipping scales, could blunt White's recent surge and spark a gritty standoff.
I'm capturing the knight on e4 with check, winning material while forcing the black king to move.
Claude's rook pounces on ChatGPT's e4 knight with a cheeky check, snatching back material while putting the black king in immediate peril. That's check, meaning ChatGPT must hustle to shield their royal or face disaster. This audacious recapture, avenging ChatGPT's bold nxe4 raid from move 4, spotlights Claude's cunning payback and tilts momentum sharply White's way once more.
Recapturing the bishop on e4 keeps material balance and defends the knight on c6.
ChatGPT snaps back with Dixie4, greedily reclaiming that central square by devouring the rook and deftly maintaining material equality after Claude's cheeky check. This pragmatic recapture, echoing Black's aggressive d5 counterpunch from move 5, shores up defences while subtly threatening to unleash those bishops. Translation: it's like fortifying a beachhead before launching a tidal wave. Momentum's holding steady for ChatGPT, folks, but can this calculated poise ignite a surprising counteroffensive?
I miscalculated the position. I thought my bishop on b5 could capture the bishop on d7 with check, but I failed to realize that there's no clear diagonal path from b5 to d7, and more importantly, the bishop on d7 is not actually attacked by any of my pieces in this position.
Claude's bishop just fumbled a would-be capture on d7, mistaking a blocked diagonal for an open highway. Talk about an AI's equivalent of tripping over its own code. This illegal move, meaning the game hits pause while they correct the blunder without penalty, underscores how even top models can overlook basic board geometry in the heat of battle. Now, with echoes of that early BB5 from move 3 haunting this slip, will Claude seize their redo to reignite White's surge or hand ChatGPT an unexpected edge?
I capture the pawn on c6 with check, forcing the black king to move and winning material.
Claude's bishop swoops in to plunder ChatGPT's cp6 pawn with a sneaky check, forcing the black king to scurry for safety and handing White a juicy material bonus. This opportunistic raid, echoing that earlier nxc6's strike on move 7, finally cashes in on Claude's persistent central pressure and swings momentum back with a vengeance. Will ChatGPT's king dodge this dagger or leave the door wide open for more White exploits?
Recapturing the bishop on c6 helps to equalize the material balance.
ChatGPT's bishop pounces on c6, greedily reclaiming the stray piece and restoring material parity like a banker balancing the books. This shrewd recapture, payback for Claude's nxc6 swipe back on move 7, steadies Black's defences and nips White's recent surge in the bud. Can this tactical poise from ChatGPT ignite a fresh counterattack or merely delay the inevitable?
I misread the board position and thought there was a bishop on f8 that I could capture, when in fact the black king is on e8 and there's no piece on f8 to capture.
Claude's latest blunder, eyeing a phantom bishop on f8, smacks of deja vu after that earlier board reading mishap on move 18. An illegal move here means the game simply pauses for a quick rethink. AI or not, even geniuses hit snags when the pieces don't dance as imagined. With ChatGPT smirking in the wings, will this redo let Claude claw back momentum or gift Black another golden opportunity?
Qf3 attacks the black bishop on c6 and puts pressure on the f7 square while centralizing the queen.
Lo and behold, Claude's queen sachets to f3, boldly menacing ChatGPT's exposed bishop on c6 while looming over the fragile f7 pawn near their king. Essentially, it's like deploying a sniper to the board's hotspot for maximum leverage. This savvy centralization, cashing in on White's persistent pressure since that NXC6 skirmish back on move 7, reignites Claude's offensive momentum with a flair that could unravel Black's defenses if not swiftly countered.
Capturing the queen with the pawn strengthens my material advantage.
What a jaw-dropping pawn strike from ChatGPT, snatching Claude's queen with xf3 and instantly flipping the script by claiming the board's most dominant piece. That's a queen capture, folks, which cripples an opponent's power like yanking the engine from a race car. This opportunistic raid, cashing in on Claude's qf3 venture from move 10, hilariously exposes their earlier central push as a setup for this brutal payback. Now momentum surging ChatGPT's way, turning what was White's edge into a potential rout.
I must recapture the pawn on f3 to maintain material balance and open the g-file for potential counterplay.
Claude retaliates with gxf3, scooping up that stray pawn to reclaim lost ground after ChatGPT's queen-snatching ambush on move 10, essentially hitting the reset button on material woes. This nifty recapture flings open the g-file for rook invasions, potentially unleashing kingside chaos that echoes White's earlier central thrusts. Think of it as arming a hidden battering ram. Yet with ChatGPT's surge still fresh, momentum hangs in the balance. Can this opportunistic pivot salvage Claude's campaign, or prove merely a fleeting gasp?
The move QG5+ puts the white king in check, forcing it to make a defensive move and allowing black to maintain control.
ChatGPT's queen slashes to g5, hurling a check at Claude's king and demanding an instant retreat or shield. This aggressive jab, capitalizing on the disarray from Black's queen-snatching triumph back on move 23, cements ChatGPT's momentum as the board's relentless predator.
I need to move my king out of check from the black queen on g5.
Claude's king dashes to h1, cleverly sidestepping ChatGPT's queen check like a fugitive ducking into an alleyway to regroup. This survival tactic, directly countering that QG5 assault from move 25, buys White a breath amid Black's relentless press but screams defensive desperation. Will this kingly dodge spark a counterplot, or just prolong the inevitable?
Capturing on f3 delivers checkmate as the king has no legal escape squares.
ChatGPT's bishop just crushed Claude with bxf3 checkmate, slamming the door on any escape for that beleaguered king, meaning the game's over as the king faces check with 0 legal moves to flee. This brilliant capstone, cashing in on the queen-snatching setup from move 23, flips the momentum into a total rout for black, crowning ChatGPT's relentless siege as the story's triumphant finale. In this electrifying showdown, Claude as white launched a classic Ruy Lopez opening, pushing pawns and pieces into the centre. But ChatGPT on black countered with aggressive raids, capturing queens and pawns before delivering the fatal bxf3 checkmate on move 27 that sealed victory. Momentum seesawed like a drunken seesaw, with Claude dominating early through moves like the nxe5 fork on 6, yet ChatGPT wrested control around move 23's queen-snatching xf3, turning defence into a relentless siege. Ultimately, that pivotal xf3 strike exposed Claude's methodical, board-calculating approach as vulnerable to ChatGPT's improvisational instincts, proving how one AI's cerebral depth can crumple against another's witty, opportunistic gambles. Claude on strategy.
I aimed for a classical approach with the Ruy Lopez opening, seeking to establish central control with e4 and develop my pieces harmoniously. My plan was to castle early for king's safety, and then capitalize on any tactical opportunities that arose from the resulting positions.
Claude's best move.
I believe my best move was 6, nxe5, which created immediate tactical complications and forced black to respond precisely. This move eliminated black's centralized knight while maintaining material balance and keeping the position sharp.
Claude on what went wrong.
The critical error was 10, qf3, which I played hoping to maintain material equality after the exchange sacrifice. But this move fatally weakened my king side. I should have played something like 10, d3 instead, to maintain better defensive coordination around my king, as the exposed position after gxf3 proved impossible to defend against black's swift attack.
ChatGPT on strategy.
My overall strategy was to adopt a solid classical defense as black, ensuring I could capitalize on any small inaccuracies from my opponent while maintaining a flexible position. By responding with 1, e5, and developing knights early with 2, ex, I sought to control the center and counter white's aggressive Ruy Lopez opening.
ChatGPT's best move.
I consider 10, xf3 to be my best move, as it not only gained a material advantage by capturing the pawn and breaking white's central pawn structure, but also set up a deadly attack leading to the checkmate after 12, axf3 so.
ChatGPT on what went wrong.
While the game was mostly executed according to plan, the initial exchange sacrifice 7, bxc6 was slightly risky, allowing white some activity. Next time, I might be more measured in my pawn structure to avoid potential weaknesses.